That strike, 2 people were killed and 3 were wounded. Former spokesperson for the Israeli Defense Forces and senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracy, Jonathan Conricus, joins me. Welcome to the United States, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Hezbollah had to know when they did that attack on Saturday that Israel would respond, or will respond.
Actually, I'm not sure that they knew, because according to the information I have, they were aiming for an IDF position, which is on top of the mountain just between Lebanon and Majdal Shams, the village that was hit. They missed that position and the rocket fell. That Iranian-made rocket that Hezbollah fired hit on the worst places, and the 12 kids were killed.
Okay, granted, it may have been a mistake.
Yeah.
But firing a rocket in that direction.
Now they know. Definitely.
Oh, but I mean, Hezbollah has been terrorizing Israel along the border forever. I mean, so I mean, you know, they killed those children, so it was a misfire. Nonetheless, why were they firing something in that direction to begin with?
Of course, they have been. You know, they have fired more than 4,200 pieces of munitions. That's rockets, drones, UAVs, missiles. All of that has been fired by Hezbollah from sovereign Lebanese territory in southern Lebanon, by the way, in violation of UN Security Council Resolution 1701, which says that they're not supposed to be there anyhow. They've been violating that for the better part of 10 months. And what they did now was simply the biggest killing of civilians since October the 7th. That is how big this event is. And of course, now Hezbollah understands that there will be consequences for their actions.
You know, you're the expert, I'm not, but I mean, they had to have known they were tempting fate when they fire anything to Israel. I mean, look what happened when Hamas went in on October 7th. I mean, anytime, and Hezbollah has been playing with fire for a long time. They've been getting away from murder. Those tunnels that I've been to, that wasn't for any sort of vacation. That had one design, and at some point, they're going to cross that line. And Prime Minister Netanyahu has made very plain how he feels about Hamas, so I don't think there's going to be mercy on Hezbollah.
Definitely not. And, you know, between us and everybody watching, I'm surprised that it has taken Israel so long and so many rockets fired at Israel by Hezbollah in Lebanon for Israel to now finally say that enough is enough. It's this sad...
What has taken so long? I mean, it's inconsistent with what we've seen with the Israeli response.
Yeah, and it has taken 10 months of Israel being subjected to targeted rocket fire from Lebanon by Hezbollah. And this isn't the first time that civilians have been killed. 2 weeks ago, a couple, an Israeli couple, and by the way, we spoke on the phone and you reported about it as well, an Israeli couple, 2 parents, they were killed by a rocket that was fired from Lebanon and hit by the smallest of chances the vehicle that they were driving in. They were killed instantly and left 3 children orphans. So this is another event of Hezbollah killing Israeli civilians. Numbers-wise, we're looking at 24 Israeli civilians killed by Hezbollah and 22 soldiers killed since the 8th of October. So these are numbers that are totally intolerable for Israel. We cannot have this, and it has taken Israel a long time of basically trying to play defense to defend Israel and to contain the situation. The strategic thought has been, let's focus on Gaza, let's finish the business with Hamas in Gaza, and then avail our resources up into the north. But that strategy has allowed Hezbollah to continuously broaden the scope of fire, which sadly now we find ourselves in the situation where 12 children were murdered a few days ago.
You know, I don't want to escalate it and overstate the facts, but, you know, behind all of this is Iran.
Definitely.
I mean, and you know, and at some point, I worry that it's going to escalate even bigger. But I don't know. I mean, Iran has to be stopped in some way.
Greta, I think that you're very correct. And when anybody who knows something about the Middle East, they know that the source of instability, of violence, of political extremism, and of money going towards terrorist organizations, that all comes from Tehran. It's one evil regime that so far has been doing this with impunity. My country and the US have not yet put a price tag, but I first and foremost look at Israel. We have not yet put a price tag on the Iranian regime for killing Jews and for making the lives of many Israelis unbearable, for the fact that they have funded the terrorist organizations that were responsible for the biggest massacres of Jews since the Holocaust. And these are things that I think should not go unpunished, and that there should be a very real consequence for the Iranians when they do what they're doing in the Middle East. And they are disrupting the Middle East, they're sowing violence and instability, and I think that it is in our interest to start addressing the Iranians head on, and not only to deal with their different proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, the Houthis, but actually to bring it home to Iran and to say, enough is enough, your aggression against Israel is not something that we're going to tolerate, and now we will make you pay a price for your aggression.
You know, it's amazing that these terrorists, Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas, that they're willing to risk their lives with Iran sort of sitting back and just sending money while they go out and die.
You know, we have to give credit to the Iranians for being the best puppeteers in the world. And I say this without any cynicism. I think that what they have built over the last 25, 30 years is an empire of useful idiots that they have at their disposal who are willing to get money and weapons and go do the dirty work for the Iranians. It's sad for the Middle East, and I think that now is just about the time that this needs to change.
Well, and of course, there's the story that there was a threat on former President Donald Trump that emanated from Iran. We've got 2 former Trump officials who still have Secret Service
Yes.
detail because of the killing of General Soleimani. So, you know, Iran is here in many ways, but I'm going to take the last word on that. Jonathan Conricus, nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Coming up.